And I am dead serious when I said on the eve of National Day, get our ablest and our best into politics. One key requirement is let's avoid hypocrisy and let's do this thing honestly, approximate the market rate. Try and get a government on the cheap, you end up with a cheap government, and you'll be sorry for yourselves. First job of a government is to equalize opportunities, right? Not equalize results. You equalize results, you're done for. You end up with what Deng Xiaoping calls the iron rice bowl. Nobody works, everybody does his minimum, very little rice in the bowl. What made the difference in Singapore was that a group of men in 1963, 64, 65, when we were in Malaysia, we decided that we are going to live only one life. If we have to die, we will die for a cause. That made Singapore possible. We couldn't be placated and settle for less. To settle personally for a way out for yourself was easy. You vote in jokers, cranks, weak men, charlatans, with some gift of the gab. You run a very serious risk of losing everything you have. Your future really depends on what you make of it. The government can give you that framework, can give expression to the will of a people, but the people must have that will. If you don't have it, there's nothing a government can do.
Good day, it's Bob, Baby D, Fast and Furious. I forgot one of the major choris that this government tried to do. I told you about Patel Saab, Sardar Patel, and then I told you about Netaji. And there was the other one that they're really going after, is PV, Narasimha Rao, because of, he's the guy, now they're installing him as the king of reforms. And they're trying to take ownership. Wow, wow, wow. He says, PM says tributes to PV on 100th anniversary. And Twitter makes a mistake, and this kind of mistake that I don't expect them to make. It's about the map. Twitter shows JNK as separate country, India head book. Well, I'm sure they need to be taken to task, but India head book, who books these educated senior management? Because it's something that's happening in the United States, and that's where the slippery road. And here's another slippery road. I told you about this vaccine business. All they're trying to say is, vaccine, number of vaccines a day. Look at this headline, which I find dubious, stupid, and not worthy of Times of India. What does that say? Okay, folks. It says India overtakes US in total jabs given, now world number 2. Well, only the dimwit will fall for this, right? The dimwit and the dumb, right? Because, hey, they've only got 200 or 250 million or 300 million as their population. Obviously, at some point of time, India needs to overtake it because India needs to vaccinate almost 4 times more, folks. Are these guys for real who print this? Does it really matter? The figure that matters is you really need to be measuring the percentage of population vaccinated to see who's going faster. At this point of time, the United States has vaccinated over 70% completely. We haven't even reached 20% completely. That's the real thing. And here's what we are reality. Get the jab done. Are there renewed worries on vax production? A mediocre July performance will up the pressure hugely. Obviously, because here you see this, and I've read this in the foreign policy press, Sputnik is just not coming out with its production. So if you've got these Sputnik numbers, which I believe that in this 1-2 billion, they got 200 million or 300 million from Sputnik, Sputnik is not coming through. Sputnik 5 commercial launch delayed, and I believe this is happening, folks, globally. Is this a Sarkar of illusionists or delusionists? Now let me just complete the circle on the production capacity of vaccines. Not only is Sputnik in trouble, the other one really in trouble is Covaxin, and they really need to answer, are we even going to get up to 35 to 40 million a month by November? Okay, but here's what Chidambaram says. It says MSME, most severely mauled enterprises. It says the pandemic has affected everyone except the few billionaires. Throughout the terrible phase, I have watched the fortunes of agriculture, MSMEs and SMEs and the service sector because between them they employ bulk of India's population. He says he did a survey of 1,900 respondents of MSMEs, and he says 94% said that sales turnover had decreased. And then he said the decrease in sales turnover was up to 25% in case of 441 respondents, up to 26 and 50% for 375. More than 50% for 787. 291 MSMEs had totally shut down. Okay. As can be expected, 91% of respondents made a loss. 91%. To question, has your business unit been working since April 21? 852 out of 1935 respondents, that's 44%, said no. Of the others, only 195 said they were working near full capacity. In 2021, 26% of the respondents had cut wages, salaries, 33% had laid off employees, 23% had retrenched employees, and 18% had done all of the above. Okay. As many as 1,200, that is 67% employed fewer persons in 2021 than in 1920, almost none employed more. Okay. So massive unemployment. 50% said that no one has returned to the job. Oh my God, that's a lot. He says of the 1510 enterprises that had closed down in 2021, only 470, 31% had not reopened, and 828, 55% had opened only partially. Now, government and uncaring entity. It is evident that the government has done practically nothing to keep the MSMEs on the feet. The ECLGS guaranteed 300,000 crores. MSMEs were led to believe that the amount of default that was guaranteed by the government was 300,000 crores. Hence, it was believed that assuming moderate 10% to a high 25% level of NPAs, the amount of credit available would be 12 lakh to 30 lakh crores. The deception was discovered when the government clarified that rupees 300,000 crores was the total figure of credit under the scheme. Given the state of the balance sheet of MSMEs, bankers have struggled to achieve even the target of lending rupees 300,000 crores. The disbursement to date is about rupees 150,000 crores. The pandemic has killed the spirit of entrepreneurship among low capital under 20 employment, low turnover, low profit seeking businesses, business and persons. The government watched as their businesses collapse for them. It's the way to Atma Nirvana. And you can tell from these anecdotal evidence in Delhi. Tailor to daily wages, a familiar story. Lower pay, little work. Debt at 58.8% of GDP as economy contracts. Petrol prices cross 100 mark in 4 states, new record in capital. Petrol prices jump over 8 a litre in 55 days. Top CEOs seek large fiscal stimulus on tax swaps to jumpstart economy. This was the fraud being played in your health sector. No insurance provisions for COVID covers his center. And then FM expands scheme for COVID relief to health and tourism. How? God only knows, folks. Again, loan guarantees, and here's where the scam is. To fight future waves, health sector gets 23,220 crore boost. Right? But see this, folks. It says emphasis to children and pediatric care. But here, read this in detail. The government on Monday announced an additional allocation of 23,220 crores to boost public health care facilities by March, with special emphasis on children and pediatric care, while putting in place a loan scheme based on government guarantees for the private sector to augment existing hospital capacity and create new facilities. So it's a public healthcare initiative, but to help the private sector. Go figure this out, folks. Government unveils measures for sectors hit by second wave. Center rolls out second wave stimulus, expands credit relief. God damn it. Nobody wants credit, folks, anymore. Relief for health and tourism. New focus, ramping up pediatric health again through the private sector. And it's only a credit guarantee scheme, folks. You can't do that. More can be done. For GOI's economic package to make a difference, demand needs fiscal stimulus. That leaves government as the one controlling the economic levers that can make a difference. Urban poor need urgent fiscal support through direct transfers, and as do the poor, folks. And then you see fiscal impact of SOPs under 1% of GDP experts. FinMin values relief measures at 6.29 lakh crore, but more SOPs in form of credit guarantees that don't need immediate spending. And that's the delusional illusion. And Congress rightly says, FM package failed to address core issues of crisis, says Congress. And they're right, but Congress has got to get out there. Here, Rahul Gandhi was absolutely right. Nobody listens to him because they made him out to be a pappu, but direct transfers are critical. Right now, the only engine working is partially exports, because direct transfers into accounts globally. We can't carry on riding on somebody else's coattails for a long time, folks. We got to do our own bit. Long bearded man. The RJD and the NCP both acknowledged, and Sharad Pawarji, that without Congress as part of the being the fulcrum is very difficult to bring the oppositions together. So here, as like I said, they came out with a great statement in terms of the economy, the package. Obviously, with the aid of what Chidambaram says, it's useless, it's close to useless, right? Economy is in a shut. But they've got to come out. They just can't make lily white shirted Surjewala and Gandhi and Bapu make all these statements, because they're turning out to be their own worst enemies, like Vinod Sharma writes. By undermining its CM, the Congress scores a safe goal in Punjab. Factionalism within was one reason why the Congress lost in Assam and Kerala. The Malays could similarly inflict the party in Punjab, where even the captain's worst detractors rate him as the best bet in the 2022 battle. We all know. But Sidhu, who's nothing but a beauty queen, is being allowed to manipulate the bhai and the band to absolutely kuch nahi hona, kakh nahi hona hai. Folks, kakh nahi hona. In Punjab, the Congress is clearly its own worst enemy. While it should be, gearing up for other stuff. Assam Congress still searching for chief. I would say it has to be Tarun Gogoi, the Gogoi's son, Akhil Gogoi. The reason I say it is because of his elevation is why Sarna jumped ship. So give him the goddamn mantle and let him bloody get the house back in order. His dad almost essentially destroyed the Congress in Assam by trying to promote his son. Now tell his son to go out and get it back for you, right? Here, AICC team to pick Maharashtra's speaker to reach Mumbai Saturday, post vacant since Feb. Now get all this in order, right? Instead of going after Punjab. So what do you have? So this is like, you have gatti hai na. There's मुंह च पानी आ रहा है सिद्धू में. क्यों आ रहा है? क्योंकि लगता है कि हम जिस तरह कैप्टन साहब उथों सिरकणगे वो अपनी पिछवाई लेके अंदर बह जाऊगा. इस तरह नहीं काम होता जी, काम करना पैंदा है. अच्छा, now what's happening in UP? Raj Bahar dreams up UP big alliance. What does he say? Have spoken to Sanjay Singh of AAP, UP in charge of Trinamool, Sanjay Rao. He says the Bhagidari Sankalp Morcha is in talks with the Aam Aadmi Party, the Trinamool Congress and the Shiva Sena to join an alliance for assembly polls in the state. But I would suggest this to Mr. Rajbahar. He's got to take the Jats, the farmers along. He's got to take the RLD, Ajit Singh's party along with it. Without that, he's again going to divide votes and going to head nowhere. Mamta continues the attack. She's the lady who's got to lead the charge. Mamta calls Dhanakar corrupt governor. It's like the most ineffective governor, right? Waffling all over the place. Now what do we have here? Sikh leaders protest over forced conversions, marriages in Delhi. Now I find this really funny, right? Now the Sikh leaders are protesting over forced conversions. I'm just wondering where the force of conversions that created the Sikh religion has gone, right? It's kind of amazing that people are, I'm not understanding how this forced conversion happens. Maybe it happened out of love. Maybe it happened out of inducements. But if it is threat, then obviously I'd be for them. But love's going to conquer all. But at the end of the day, you got to create a religion of your own, the way it was that Guru Nanak created. Tad di religion, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਿਖਾਈ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਬਾਈਬ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਤਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖੋਗੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਸਿੱਖਾਂ ਦੀ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਹੈ ਬੜੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਹੋਏਗੀ. Here, now I think the extremists have kicked themselves in the gazungas. He says JNK parties condemn SPO family killing, security forces engaged in an encounter in Paranpora area, 3 CRPF personnel apparently they didn't even leave a child, right? And then finally, good for India. High Court stays 2 policies as Lakshadweep row rages. This is again had to do with the eating habits. Thank God for that, because all these Patels and guys from Gujarat, they want to turn us into vegetarian nothings. That was not even part of our Vedas, folks. Anybody who thinks we were historically, genetically vegetarian, we were not. And look at the Vedas. And that's another discourse that India needs to really seriously study. Let them eat. A diverse country will have diverse diets. Politics over food is bad for national health. I agree with this. Hallelujah. It says, HC states Lakshadweep order seeks to change food habits. And I'm going to conclude this, right, with what Tavleen Singh wrote. Protest is not terrorism. She says, the new criminal in this international conspiracy against India is Twitter. Its refusal to take orders from the government of India on taking down tweets that criticize the Prime Minister or the policies is being portrayed as a cunning attempt to undermine India's sovereignty. This is particularly ironic since no political party has used Twitter for political purposes more efficiently than the BJP. In the middle of all these conspiracy theories, has the Prime Minister noticed that if India is respected more than China in the world, it is because of our democracy. In every way, China has streaked ahead of us on earth and now on space, except when it comes to democracy. This is the reason why Narendra Modi was asked to speak at the G7 summit and not Xi Jinping. Jai Hind.